Welcome, bienvenidos. This is Roxana from Metamorphosis Rocks, and today we're going to have a little chat about a man named, what is his name? Jeff. I was alerted to the story by Jeannie over on Twitter, and let's be clear. Screenshots tell a story, but in order for me to tell you the story I want to tell you, I decided to show you the account before I posted the exact screenshots that were very telling about the situation. Now, what you're seeing right now is his Facebook profile, which was open as of July 4th when I started making this recording. This entire post, I first got a glimpse of it on July 4th. Now, in the case of Jeannie, she had posted 3 screenshots. Again, screenshots tell a story, but when they're out of context, they may or may not confirm this, which is why I show you the entire account. The screenshots that she got were about, I'm sick and tired of getting friend zoned. That's one of the screenshots you're going to see. And then there was another one complaining about how women wanted men to protect them, but they rather not. And the third one was about how this person had been fired from the MTA in New York. I don't know if this account is real or not, to be honest with you, because how do you get in trouble back in June? This happened, all the stuff that happened to this guy was either June 25th or 26th or 27th. I don't know how you get in trouble with your boss because of your social media presence, and the first thing you don't think of is making your account private and telling your bosses, let me know what is offensive and I'll remove it in order not to lose my job. That would have been my reaction. But no, Jeff decided to double down on his bad behavior, blame everybody else for his behavior, by the way, and then proceed to claim that feminists were coming after him, and number one, and number two, that he was going to sue anybody that shared his Facebook profile, which again is public, on the interwebs. Now, Jeff, a little advice for you. If you're deciding to make your post public and your account public because, I don't know, you want people to feel sorry for you and to agree with you on your viewpoints, then you cannot blame anybody else for people finding your post offensive and you being removed from your job, if it's true. Because I can't help but notice that you posted a particular post where you said that you were leaving MTA, not that you were fired. Now, I don't know if that's because they gave you the choice of quitting instead of getting fired, which for a man like you, based on your post, I would think that you would prefer to get fired because number one, you get possibility of benefits, and number two, and more importantly, you get to cry victim some more. But since I don't know which one it is, let's start from the beginning. The reason why people started getting offended with Mr. Jeff here had to do with his post about American women and how he went on a date with a woman, and instead of picking the nice guy like him, she wants a bad guy. He had several posts about that. I also want to make clear that if you looked at the actual screenshots that I took, like I took the video from his account to make sure that I took every screenshot, there are some of them that I am not entirely sure that he already deleted, okay? He also posted several ridiculous posts about that he should pack everything and leave America because Asian women were prettier and all this other stuff. And that takes me to the first post, which was posted a few minutes after I decided to go and take a screen grab of his account, where there were 2 very young Asian girls. And that's the kind of thing that attracts him. That's a red flag for me, automatically. The second red flag is in Thailand, young dating girls and women, there's a very voluptuous girl who's 42, widow from New York, looking for a boyfriend, and he doesn't want to leave the United States because Asian girls are so hot. Okay? I'm not saying they are or they're not, okay? Women are beautiful, and what some people might not find beautiful, others might. And I definitely don't have a problem with girls that are not a size zero. Now, he talks about this whole thing about getting in trouble because he was placed on administrative leave for my Facebook postings. I was preparing for my shift when I was pulled in and given the news. Are you feminist extremist lemmings happy now? Let me make something very clear for you, Jeff. If you're treating women like, what is it? Feminist extremist lemmings, that doesn't sound like a good guy. A good guy would understand that some women are going to lean left and some women are going to lean right. Some women are more pro feminist, some women are less pro feminist. There's all kinds of women out there, but insulting women in general is not really a good idea. So then he gets caught, and he continues to post really crazy things. But this is the one that got me about the rabbit feminists, because again, let's insult women, but we're a good guy. Rabbit feminists are invading my post. I don't know where they're coming from, but I wish they'd leave. All I did was vent my frustration with my date last night, and they think it's funny. They either don't understand that nice guys finish last, you're not a nice guy, or they do understand and just enjoy seeing men suffer in loneliness. This is why I can't wait to book my next trip. I need Pattaya 2.0. I don't know if I even said the name of the area right, but it is. Now, the tweet in question, I'm sorry, the Facebook post in question, the one that he's complaining about being uh, friend zone and the date last night, this is it. I'm sick and tired of getting friend zoned. I went out on a great date with a beautiful woman last night. She was tall, had gorgeous blue eyes and blonde hair, and one of the best pairs of tits, his word not mine, I've ever seen in person. I thought we hit it off well. That was until she texted me saying we only be friends. Bitch, that what? Again, a good guy doesn't call women bitches, but whatever. Why couldn't you have told me this before I paid for your meal? I'm pissed off. This is why I'm done with American women. They want bad boys while in their prime, yet want to settle down with a nice guy once they hit the wall at 31. I'm so done. Fellas, get your passports. There's so much wrong in this post, so let's take it from the top. Um, I went out on a great date with a beautiful woman last night. There's nothing wrong with that, okay? But then he goes and concentrates on her assets, if you know what I mean. Yeah, the word I said, his word, not mine. That's red flag number one. Then he goes on and says, bitch, what? That's red flag number two. Then he goes, why couldn't you have told me this before I paid for your meal? That's red flag number three, and I'm going to tell you why. I am not a feminist, or, well, I used to be, but the way I look at dates is very simple. Whoever invited is the one who pays. If you're inviting me and you say, do you want to go out and we go Dutch? That's a different story, because you're warning me ahead of time that I'm paying for my stuff and you're paying for yours. But if you invited me out to dinner, yes, I'm going to assume that you, I don't care if you're a woman or a man, are paying for the meal, because you invited me, not the other way around. Since we don't know that, to me this is a red flag, because I'm pretty sure he invited her. Anyway, this is why I'm done with American women. They want bad boys while in their prime, red flag, yet want to settle down with a nice guy once they hit the wall at 31. I don't know how old Jeff is. I really don't care. But I find it very amusing that he thinks a woman hit the wall at 31. You do know women are fertile until they're 40, sometimes their 50s, right? You know that women are just as capable as men are in their 30s as they are in their 50s. There is no reason why you cannot find a good woman if you are a good man. And the age is not an issue. So yeah, I'm really not impressed with him. Then I go with some of the stuff that I don't even know where to go with this, because it's both misogynistic and racist. But let's look at this post that he quote from Passport Bros Are Winning. Passport bros are losers, by the way. But anyway, only bad thing about Asian women, half hour later you're horny again. Yeah, but he's a good guy. He quoted another one where he had a video. I am not showing the video. I've got to get back ASAP. And the quote is from Passport Bros are winning again. Retired living in Pattaya, Thailand at 1 in the morning, just chilling on Walking Street. Damn! Yeah. Anyway. On June 26th, which I think is when he was let go from MTA, he posted this and says, "The world found me guilty, but I still walk free. You better try harder if you want to browbeat me." No, they were not trying to browbeat you. Well, I mean, I don't know what happened in your investigation. I don't know if this has anything to do with your investigation, because here's the thing about the internet. And this is something that most people don't understand. Corporate America, when you get hired for a job in any company in corporate America and in most government facilities, they will warn you when you sign the dotted line that they will check your social media. Now, what usually happens is there are companies that claim that they can tell you to shut down your social media if you want to work with them. You can negotiate that, because guess what? It doesn't have to do anything with your First Amendment, because, by the way, the First Amendment only applies if it's a government institution. So if it's a corporation, no, the First Amendment doesn't apply. But there is a thing about what you do in your spare time that, so long as it's not affecting your company, they shouldn't be bothered with it. However, there are certain things on the internet that if you post them and your company finds out about it, regardless of whether people complain or not, they can actually take action against you. If you have if you discriminate against anybody on your social media post, like this gentleman obviously did, yeah, they can fire you. So, he has a post of the Mets beating the Yankees, and he's quoting Mets fans for life. "Down go the chumps from the Bronx. There's nothing." Okay, let me see how I say this, because remember, they're both from New York. He works for the MTA. Now, this is not offensive to me. I mean, I don't like it, but it's not offensive to me. But the bottom line is that it might be offensive to people that live in New York. Okay? Then he has, where is the post? "It's official. I've been canceled by the woke mob." Never ceases to amaze me how a certain segment of the population, you know what I'm trying to say, but I'm not going to say it on this video. A certain segment of the population is very fond of calling woke and "I've been canceled" when people are being called out for bad behavior. Those same people, by the way, were the ones that decided that they needed to cancel Target because they had LGBTQ friendly items. They needed to cancel Budweiser because they had a trans woman on their adverts. Should I go on? Or do you think they just did that to Tractor Supply, to the point where Tractor Supply changed their policies not to get them mad at them, and in the process managed to give the rest of us a reason not to show up in Tractor Supply? But that's another video for another day. Anyway, let's go back to this thing. "My employment as a transit police officer with the MTA has ended effective today." That, quote, "investigation," end quote, "didn't take as long as I thought it would." The F word, of course. "I'm hoping I'll be able to keep my pension. It's time to start anew and do something exciting. With my savings, I'm looking at grabbing a visa and staying in either Thailand, Cambodia, Malaysia, or the Philippines for a while. It was a nice run, and I enjoyed every second as a member of law enforcement. I take pride in every civilian I assisted, every thug I arrested, every package of drugs that was eventually destroyed due to my interventions, and every relationship I've made along the way. Hopefully, all of these woke people won't cause my brothers in blue to turn on me. C'est la vie." No, I think your bad behavior is what's going to cause people to turn on you. I'm just saying. But those were some of the items that I saw on this man's account. I was looking for one that was really telling, and I can't find it now, but the bottom line is this. And, I'm showing you all the screen grabs I did catch, but I can't find the one. Oh, here we go. This is the one that got me because I have something to say about this. Would anyone who backs the blue and supports America's police officers be willing to help me build a civil case? I'm looking for the identities of those who shared my post. I have family members who work in the legal field, and any and all evidence collected would go a long way towards determining whether or not I have a viable civil case. Thank you in advance. This has been quite the whirlwind day that my head is still spinning from. By the way, that was June 25th. He got fired on June 26th. So, what? But not only that, can anyone help me build a case? But you have family members that work in the legal field. Why don't you get them to help you? I'm not understanding that one. I'm confused. I'm confused. I'm very confused about this. Now, just so you know how this whole thing, you know. On June 26th, this person says, I regret ever ranting and letting my feelings out. My job is on the line, and I'm more than likely done as a member of law enforcement unless I move out of New York. Now, notice that he's still talking that he's employed on June 26th, but that post about civil case was on June 25th. The game seems to be over, so I no longer give any F's. It's time to be a man and to start contingency planning. I'm going to come out of this with my middle finger high up in the air, pointed at everyone who tried to put me down. I may have to turn in my badge. I may even decide to pack up and leave America, but you can't hold a good man down. I don't understand why this man thinks he's a good man. I'm just saying. It's really funny how one thing that most people on certain circles have in common is that they don't understand that the consequences of their actions is what got them in trouble, and not anybody complaining about them or saying something about them. Nobody said anything, okay? Now, the last post that I'm going to talk about is the one that is making people do double takes. If you notice, on June 26th, this man has a big sign of the MTA that says left job at Metropolitan Transportation Authority, MTA, June. So long and good night, New York. May my brothers of the badge continue to keep all modes of transportation safe for others, blah, blah, blah. Now, I have a question because I thought you said you were being fired. This is the reason why people don't know if he got fired or if he resigned or maybe he was forced to resign. We don't know. Here's my issue with all of this, and this is why I brought this up. Whenever you have a social media presence, you run the risk of getting in trouble for that social media presence. The company that you work for might fire you. You might have to sue to get your job back and all this other stuff. Instead of looking for building a civil case because you said you had savings and you were going to move to Cambodia or the Philippines or whatever else, how about you take that money and you try to get your job back if the job was so important to you? But that's not what this is about, is it? It's about humiliating what you think are women that had an issue with the post. You're not seeing how horrible your posts are because according to your logic, you're not in the wrong. This is what happens to every single incel and every single bro that you see on social media. They rarely take accountability for their actions because they think like, I'm a man, I should be allowed to say and do whatever I want. And that's not really how it works, is it? I hope he finds somebody that will actually get through to him. I don't wish this man any bad luck, but I will tell you this. One thing that you have to remember is that I don't know if New York is a two-party state or a one-party state. I honestly don't know. I'm looking as I'm talking. But the reality is that it doesn't really matter. Because what happens is internet communications are not protected by the law in the term. The only thing that is protected by the law is phone conversations. People. This is editing me just to make a correction. I just found out while researching some screenshots that I needed for this video that there are some states that have passed laws to protect communications that are even included on the internet. However, those laws do not protect public posts, which is what I was trying to say. This person has their account in a public setting, and that is ruled, if you want to say it that way, by Facebook terms of service. If it's a public post, there is nothing you can do about it. Anyone can see it and anyone can share it. That's the correction I needed to make. Thank you. People cannot record. And by the way, New York is a one-party state. So even if the law applied in your state, the fact that you left your account open for anybody and everybody, I don't know you. I was able to go into your account and take all the screenshots. You didn't protect yourself. The first thing I would have done was make my account private for a moment so I could figure out what's going on. The second thing I would have done was I would have gotten rid of every single post you have that is problematic, especially this one. Because I don't know what makes you think that it's okay for you to say something, to post something like the things that I have been showing the entire video, but it isn't. And it's not whoever complains fault that you're in trouble. No, it isn't. It is your fault. Because one thing is to vent. You know what? If you want to say that the date didn't go well and she decided to friend me and I'm tired of being friended, put on the friend zone or whatever, I can understand that. There's nothing wrong with that. There is absolutely nothing wrong with that. But the fact that you decided to call her what you called her and then get mad when people had an issue with it, that's the problem, sir. And by the way, posting two little girls who are practicing their dance moves as, I don't know if it's a gotcha moment or what, it's not the own that you think it is. It actually makes you look worse. So my suggestion to you is, first of all, go private. Second of all, stop trying to use your money to sue people for actually expressing their opinions, because guess what? Same right you have to express your frustration, like you said, in the terms that you did. That's the same right that somebody has to call your company and complain that you don't represent the MTA world well. And you know why? Because New York is one of those places where there's pretty much every possible type of person either visiting or living in New York. I've never seen a more diverse group of people than I've seen in New York City. And that means, by the way, that all these kinds of people, Asian women, women in general, are not going to feel very safe with you around. And that is a problem, sir. Because if they don't feel safe, they have a right to call the MTA and say, Officer so-and-so, if that's true, that that's your name and that you did get fired, Officer so-and-so doesn't make me feel safe because I saw these posts of him online. Your account is public, sir. That's your first mistake. Your account should only be public to your friends and family. Now, I'm not saying that somebody's not going to betray you and post your things online. And by the way, they would also not be liable because you did publish them. But it would be a little harder for your company to fire you because you can always say, well, that's somebody. You could say, how do you know that that was me? Period. Or number two, my account is private. If somebody took my stuff out of my private mode, I cannot control that. Is it right? No, because at the end of the day, you are thinking the things you're saying. But the reality is, you're not protected. Number one, your state is a one-party consent, which means anybody can record your actions. And number two, internet communications are not protected by consent laws. Anyway, I can't wait to hear what you guys have to say about this. Don't forget to support your favorite creator. And until the next time, bye.